The ratings came in almost 2 weeks late, and the way everything unfolded made the situation even harder to understand because there was no clear reason for such a long delay. Today I'm going straight into the confusion around these delayed ratings, the rise in the numbers that finally came in, and what these results say about the state of the show right now. The delay alone says a lot about where things stand, because when ratings for a show come more than a week late, especially on a network that usually reports numbers on time, it creates doubt about what is going on behind the scenes. When I first saw that the ratings for the previous weekend had not been released, I kept checking, thinking maybe they were just slow. Maybe something happened with the tracking system. Maybe there was a holiday delay. But by the time we reached the end of the week and still had no numbers, it was clear that this was not a normal delay. And when ratings finally came in, they showed that the episode had gone up 39% from the November 15th episode, rising from 200,000 viewers to 278,000 viewers. The show jumped 78,000 views, and the demo went from 0.06 to 0.09. Even though the rise seems good on paper, I still needed to understand why the numbers were withheld for almost 2 weeks and why this one episode was so delayed compared to usual. When ratings are this late, it often means someone is trying to buy time, hoping that people stop asking questions or that the attention on the show dies down long enough for the ratings to come out without pressure or judgment. The episode ranked number 199 across all TV shows on November 29th, which is not great for a show that once had strong momentum behind it. What made everything more confusing is that the ratings delay did not match the buzz or interest around the series. Normally, when a show struggles, they release ratings fast, hoping to show that things are improving. But here, the complete opposite happened. The numbers were pushed so far behind that people started wondering whether the network was trying to find the best angle to frame the results. What makes this even more interesting is that this season had been filled with confusion before it even aired. The energy, the storyline flow, and the cast unity all felt off long before the ratings became a problem. But regardless of the confusion, the show is still the #1 series on the network right now with 278,000 views. That part is shocking because it shows just how far the network as a whole has fallen, if these are the numbers that are now considered strong for their top show. Ready to Love came in second at 239,000 views, which is up 26%, and America's Funniest Home Videos came in third with 113,000 views. These numbers tell us that the network is not operating at the level it once was. When a show with less than 300,000 views is ranked #1, that says a lot about the state of the programming overall. The network is struggling, and this show is caught in the middle of it. What makes everything harder is the lack of new ideas coming from production. Every season has become the same structure: reheated drama, recycled conflicts, and the same scenes replayed in a different way. Fans are pointing out that nothing new is happening, and it is harder to ignore that now. The show cannot find its identity without someone leading it, with true openness, strong storylines, and real personal growth. When one person carried the emotional weight, the storyline weight, the direction, the heart, and the core of the show for years, and that person stepped back, everything fell apart. The cast that remains is not giving enough to build around, and the producers seem to be scrambling to make something out of almost nothing. The confusion grew even more when previews showed a holiday special with game night scenes, couples wearing holiday sweaters, and pointless confusion mixed with fake joy. There was Martell sitting next to Destiny like they were a couple for no clear reason. There were other cast members pretending to enjoy moments that felt forced, staged, and disconnected from the rest of the season. And then we saw Carlos King looking drained, almost like he did not want to be there, but had no choice, because something needed to be filmed to fill space. The whole episode looked like a filler special that was created so creators could say the season had bonus content. It did not look like something meant to add depth to the season. Instead, it felt like a desperate attempt to keep the show from sinking completely. There was no purpose, no direction, and no push to move the storyline forward. The question becomes, how do you build a reality show when the cast refuses to give their real lives? The answer is simple. You cannot. The audience can feel when people are holding back. Viewers know when cast members are hiding truth, playing safe, avoiding conflict, and refusing to be transparent. The entire foundation of reality TV is openness, truth, and storytelling that reflects real life. Without that, everything becomes noise, filler, and empty scenes. When cast members choose to close off entire parts of their lives but still want top billing, the whole show suffers. And that is exactly what is happening now. The cast, as a whole, does not get along, does not trust one another, and does not want to be vulnerable anymore. This makes it impossible for the show to grow. The producers know that the cast is not giving anything new, so they resort to the same old formula. This is the same formula that was used years ago at Bravo, where the playbook was to take one person and make them the target of the season. They pick one main person and build everything around attacking them until viewers either love or hate that person enough to talk about them. That formula worked for a while, but no longer works here, because fans have outgrown that kind of storytelling. Now people want depth, growth, honesty, and accountability, not the same tired plot where everyone gangs up on one cast member for no reason. But without true storylines, the producers reach for anything they can find. They talk about old cheating drama from years ago. They bring up arguments that were settled seasons ago. They try to revive plot lines that had already been closed off. The cast keeps pointing fingers about problems that are either old or pointless. They argue about potatoes, who is dating who said what to who is sitting next to who, and who likes who. None of these things move the story forward. And when there's still not enough content, they bring in random relatives, random friends, random acquaintances, or any person who is willing to sit in front of a camera and say something that can turn into a scene. It is clear that the show has reached a point where storytelling is no longer natural. Instead of real moments, everything looks like a forced attempt to create drama, because without drama, nothing happens. Viewers want something new, but the cast keeps going in circles, showing the same patterns. Martel continues presenting himself as a misunderstood man trying to fix his image. Destiny is shown in different scenes with different people, like the storyline is looking for a new direction but cannot find one. The Scotts are shown protecting each other no matter what, making it impossible for any real storyline to unfold in that part of the cast. Nothing that happens feels fresh. Nothing feels like real life. Everything feels like people trying to film something just to say they filmed something. The loss of a strong anchor for the show changed everything. When one person used to give her real story, her feelings, her challenges, her truth, and her growth, the show had a center. Now, without that, everything is scattered. There is no emotional core to the show anymore. And without an emotional core, there is nothing to hold storylines together. The show feels like watching people who do not want to speak to each other, forced into the same room, trying to pretend they care about the situation at hand. When there is no anchor, the show leans on small conflicts to fill space. This includes family fights that never end, parents arguing about something they already discussed years ago, children being used as storyline points even when they're not the main issue, and cast members who only show up for a check but give nothing to the audience. There is no balance between real life and produced scenes because nobody wants to show the real parts anymore. And when the cast refuses to go deep, everything becomes repeated. The same cheating stories, the same broken friendships, the same family problems, the same scenes with the same people having the same issues they had years ago. Nothing grows. Nothing changes. Nothing moves forward. The show becomes stuck in one place and cannot climb out of it. This is why the ratings rise and fall again. People tune in to see if something new will happen. When nothing happens, they stop watching. Then a random moment from the past or a clip leaks online, and people tune back in to see if the episode will address it. Then nothing meaningful comes from it, so the numbers drop again. This cycle repeats every season now. The delay in the ratings for nearly 2 weeks made it even more obvious that something is not right. It almost seemed like the network did not want to release the numbers, because they knew the audience would question the direction of the show. They waited until the attention died down, hoping people were distracted by holiday weekends, football games, school events, and travel. But even after all of that, people noticed the delay. The holiday special did not help. The preview alone showed that it was nothing more than people pretending to enjoy each other, wearing sweaters, smiling in confusion, and sitting in forced couple scenes that made no sense. It looked like a last-minute idea thrown together to say, "Look, we have something for the holidays," even though it added nothing to the season. That is not how reality television is supposed to be built. Specials should highlight growth, change, or at least meaningful moments. Instead, this holiday special looked like a long filler scene that was stretched into a whole episode. Fans noticed, the cast noticed, the viewers noticed. Everybody could see that the show is running out of direction. The cast can feel it each time they film. The producers can feel it when they try to put episodes together. The viewers can feel it when the episodes air. And the ratings show it when numbers go up and down without any real explanation. What makes this even more draining is that almost every scene now feels tired. The energy is low. The storylines are weak. The interactions are forced. The fights feel planned. The conversations feel hollow. The relationships feel broken beyond repair. And the audience cannot stay attached to something that no longer feels real or honest. The ratings rising by 78,000 for one episode may look good on paper, but it does not change the bigger issue. One jump does not fix the lack of direction. One rise does not make up for months of content that feels dry, scattered, and repetitive. One small increase does not erase the slow collapse of the show's structure. People want something real. People want new storylines. People want growth. People want truth. People want to see cast members talk about real life again. People want transparency, not secrets. People want honesty, not avoidance. People want emotional depth, not random scenes thrown together for filler. People want the things that made this show strong in the first place. And until that happens, the ratings will keep moving up and down with no real stability. This nearly 2-week delay became the biggest sign yet that the show is struggling. It should not take this long to release ratings for a major series. The network should not be scrambling behind the scenes trying to decide how to present numbers. The cast should not be in a position where fans are wondering if the season is even still airing. And the producers should not be forced to throw together holiday specials and filler episodes to keep the show alive. The viewers deserve more than repeats of the same stories. They deserve more than recycled drama. They deserve more than holiday gatherings that feel staged. They deserve more than cast members who avoid real life. They deserve more than scenes built around people who refuse to give anything. They deserve more than conversations that go nowhere. The truth is simple. The show has reached a point where the old formula does not work anymore. The audience has evolved. The expectations are higher. People want real depth now. People want storylines that make sense and move forward. People want to follow lives that show growth, not stagnation. The cast must either open up and give real storylines, or accept that the show cannot survive like this. The season as a whole has shown that everything is stretched thin. The cast is tired. The producers are tired. The storylines are tired. The viewers are tired. And when everyone is tired, the show becomes something that loses its spark. The nearly 2-week delay proved one thing. They do not know how to keep the attention anymore. They thought the delay would cause people to stop asking questions. Instead, it made more people pay attention. It made more people wonder why the numbers were late. It made more people talk about the show's decline. Even with the rise to 278,000 viewers, the bigger question remains. How long can a show run on recycled storylines and surface-level interactions? How long can they stretch the same drama before viewers check out for good? How long can they avoid showing real life? How long can they pretend the show still has strong direction? If the cast does not want to give real content, it is difficult to see how the next seasons will survive. You cannot build a show around tired drama, random filler scenes, and old arguments. The people watching eventually expect something more. The state of the show today reflects the lack of real foundation. Without growth, without honesty, without transparency, and without someone anchoring the story, everything falls apart. The ratings can rise for a moment, but the bigger issues do not go away. The numbers are one thing, but the energy behind those numbers is something different. And right now, the energy is fading fast. Unless something changes, delays like this will become more common. Confusion will grow. Viewership will slide again. And the audience will continue to question whether it is even worth tuning in anymore. This is why the delayed ratings matter. This is why the rise matters. This is why the state of the show matters. Viewers want something real again, and until they get that, every season will feel like a repeat of the last one.